You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road. Our old wolf has gone to Denerim to plead his case with Tyr and Loghain, I hear. West Hills has been hit hard by the Darkspawn, and Wolf wants the fighting over the throne to stop. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is. Tyr and Loghain has announced that whatever happened to Banbronic will happen to any other nobleman who doesn't live up to the oath he swore to serve the throne. There's a lot of folks angry about it. Some of the Banorn who weren't saying anything are now saying that Loghain is trampling on their rights as sovereign lords. Seems like more fighting is inevitable at this point, doesn't it? Sad state of affairs. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the...
Enchantment? Enchantment!
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. I'm...
Enchantment? Enchantment!
What's on your mind? I have always had an affinity for the spirits of the Fade. As a child, I never feared my dreams because I knew they were there. I could sense the demons, too, and their presence frightened me. It was the kindly spirits of the Fade that took the fear from me. I've always been able to feel the spirits, even if I never saw them. And as I nurtured my talent in the circle, I became more sensitive. I began to notice every time I was in the Fade, whether it was in a dream or in magical practice, that I was being watched. I suppose they must. It is these benevolent spirits that create our dream worlds in the Fade. Sometimes I would see it, a glowing, nebulous form. Most times I would just feel its presence, gentle and comforting, but somehow alien. I think it is a spirit of faith. They have never been seen before, and perhaps I am wrong. But something tells me I'm not. It always felt like the same entity. This one spirit was curious about me, and was guarding me, for want of a better word. There were times when I was in the Fade that it seemed to stretch forth to shield me, keeping me safe. And I think it gave me strength in my most terrible battles, Ostagar being one of them. I don't know why I was chosen. Perhaps it knew that there was something more that lay in store for me. I like to think that I was given a rare chance, and I'm going to make the best of the time so generously given to me. I will not lie motionless in a bed with coverlets up to my chin, waiting for death to claim me. That is not the death for me. And so I will fight alongside the Grey Warden, and help prepare him for the task that is yet before him. So you had better listen to me, because I swear, if I should fall before the end and you don't seem to be doing things properly, I'll get up again to give you a good finger-wagging. You know, I think you'll be all right, even without my help.
Here I am. Oh, this should be good. Go ahead. Well, the crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training, the sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is a desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field. I don't know about that. It's simply a slightly different skill set from your average killer as I see it. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler. Then I don't imagine an assassin's life would be one for you. Of course, the crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we? Hmm?
Look at what your fool dog placed in my pack. A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables. The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again. I don't want it, you worthless fur bag. He is certainly manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
Something on your mind? Of course. Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact. Well, they were flying dogs, you see. Surprisingly strict parents, too. And devout Andrastians to boot. Oh, there you go, listening to me again. You'd think you'd have gotten past that already. I ended up in the Chantry, sure, but I didn't start there. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Arleman wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough. I know who I was told was my father. He died even before my mother did, anyhow. It isn't important. Arleman eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me. Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming. I think so, yes. This news we've heard about him being sick disturbs me, though. I wonder if we won't discover that Loghain has come to the same conclusion as we have. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
"'Tis cold in my tent, all alone." "So you shall come to my tent? But whatever shall we do in that tiny little space together while we wait for it to warm?" "Good. Then let us waste no more time with foolish talk." I see the stories they tell of Grey Warden endurance are not exaggerated. Indeed there are. The unanswered question, of course, is whether the endurance exists because of the taint within you, or because the Grey Wardens are by nature so very healthy. I enjoy the thought that 'tis a little of both. Natural prowess, driven by a darker side. That is entirely up to you. Simply know that I have no designs on your independence. I wish only to do what I desire, and if that coincides with what you desire, then so be it. And should you decide not to continue our misadventure, then so be it. Very simple, is it not? Oh, now you ruin the mood by speaking profanities. Silly man. Come then, let us be off before the others begin to stare. At times, perhaps, a world full of people and buildings and things was all cared for you. I actually believed that you would protect me. And now look what you have done. We will see each other again. Such simple pleasures will only enthrall for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds. She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken. And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been. They did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
Enchantment? Enchantment! Enchantment? Enchantment!
I was just thinking about what happened to the elves, and I'm reminded of a song sung to me many years ago. It was when my mother died, and this wise elven woman comforted me and told me that we shouldn't fear death or hate it. Death is just another beginning. One day, we must all shed our earthly bodies to allow our spirits to fly free. And thus you embark upon another journey. Death is just the gateway.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
Rough travels out here, eh? We even saw Darkspawn on the way in. Right, Darkspawn. We killed a whole band of them on the way up from Lothering. We're delivering a message to the Chantry in Denerim. You?
I thought you said... Wait, you're serious? I suppose that's all right. As long as it gets there. Stay safe.
Approaching. It shall be done.
What business would the mighty Grey Wardens have with a man like me? Oh? What was this about? How sad it is to see a Grey Warden manipulated. But I have no time to straighten this out for you. Men, let's teach the Grey Warden a lesson about trust.
But not exactly fine.
You will learn to fear me.
Performed as I expected.
Very well.
I paid a ransom for a trade permit. They can't do this.
May the ancestors protect us all.
This is madness. They can't just shut down the city.
I go where the work is, and it isn't here.
Maker's breath, is that? Oh, I beg your pardon. Can I help you, friend? No, nothing at all. Just, you know, thought I saw something.
Since you are clearly looking at me, I would say that you do see something.
Well, yes. Never you mind. Can I help you? Well, little of this, little of that. You know, used armor mostly. Nothing, that would really interest fine people like yourselves.
Is it refreshing or unsettling that this merchant is reluctant to show us his wares?
Well, I'm considerate of my customers' time, that's all.
What reassuring certainty.
Oh, certainly.
Maker, my brother and his family made it out of Lothering. He said that the Darkspawn attacked it the very next day.
The Darkspawn took Lothering, did they?
I don't know. I expect so, since there was no one there to stop them.
Well, it won't be much longer until those monsters get here. There doesn't seem to be anyone fighting them now.
Bloody dwarves will argue themselves into poverty if they aren't careful.
What can I do for you? This ought to be interesting. Such diction. This man is a true scholar and rhetorician. I am honored to be fired by one such as he. Good day.
Aren't you chilly, Sten?
Chilly. I don't know this word.
It's much warmer where you're from, isn't it? Don't you feel cold?
I suppose.
I don't imagine we can find a cloak in your size, can we?
What?
Nothing. Nothing. Don't mind me. Now I wonder where I could get a skein of good wool yarn.
Oh, you wish to talk to me? Truly, it's a courtesy for one so well-armed to notice a lowly merchant. It's not your business, but like my father, I was born on the surface. We never had a caste to leave. The Assembly says we've turned our back on the stone, but they still use the goods we bring. Hypocrites. Maybe it'll change by the time my children are grown. Twice a year, I'm confined to a trade stall in the Commons, but I see enough. It's very closed in. My grandfather says I've lost my stone sense. I was born topside. I don't remember having it. Best of luck to you.
My goods are just rotting on their doorstep. I won't just stand here and
They
take
say
this.
no one goes in or out until the assembly speaks.
I demand an audience. You insult all of Ferelden with your... King Loghain will not suffer the delay of his...
Vieta! This land is held in trust for the sovereign dwarven kings. I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Loghain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly. I am his appointed messenger.
I don't care if you're the king's wiper. Orzammar will have none but its own until our throne is settled.
None more important than mine.
Your business will wait. Orzammar must limit outside influence until the throne is settled. No one gets in. You're the exile. Aye. Despite your brother Balin's best efforts, sorrow finished what your kinslaying started. Your father is dead.
Kinslayer? Oh, you're not getting in. Losing two sons, one to murder and one to exile, who can blame him for seeking peace among the ancestors?
The Assembly has gone through a dozen votes without agreeing on a successor. If it is not settled soon, we risk a civil war.
The Wardens killed King Cailan and nearly doomed Ferelden. They're sworn enemies of King Loghain.
Well, that is the Royal Seal. That means only the Assembly is authorized to address it. Grey Warden, you may pass.
What? He's a traitor! And a kinslayer! You said it yourself. In the name of King Loghain, I demand that you execute this stain on the honor of Ferelden! I will at that. I'm a messenger of King Loghain.
Kill each other as you will, but take your sodding fight off my doorstep.
Have your head, Grey Warden! Oh!
Watch out! Bashadan! We must gain the advantage.
You've done me a service. That fool Imrek was barking for a week. Are all humans so touched? You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
Atrost Vala, Warden. Your arrival is a mixed blessing. You left chaos to fester in your house, but we must respect your new role. Fair journeys, Warden.
If only you had come at a less troubled time.
Now that's a thing of beauty, daughter. If you work hard like Branka, all Orzammar will know your name.
Mother, I don't want to be like her. She...
Don't say that! Not to me, not to anyone. Now get back to the forge. I want to see more details.
Yes, Mother.
Bread? Please, sir. Just a bit of bread. I haven't eaten in days. I haven't eaten in days.
I trust Vala, Warden.
Your Highness, you live. We heard what happened. It was an injustice. My master is writing another book about the Idukans. He believes that Prince Balin set you up. I'm just a humble scholar, as is my master. When you were still the best of House Idukan, you defended him from Brunton Volney. May Orzammar be kinder to you than the last time you walked the roads.
They say the Darkspawn have left for the surface.
May the ancestors look kindly upon you.
Why do you keep looking at me like that, mage?
I beg your pardon. I didn't mean to stare. I've never seen a Kunari before.
You can blink once in a while, I'll still be here.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
You not speak that way about the man who should be king! I won't have fighting in the Commons, especially in front of outsiders. I'll have it in the Legion.
Exile, you were not to show your face here again. I have enough crime to deal with. I shouldn't have to dump you back in the deep roads. That's right. You found pity topside. The Warden should have better sense when choosing allies. Surfacers and their cloud-addled heads. Fine, O illustrious Grey Warden. What do you want? Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here. Blame yourself for that. The deaths in your house brought us here. And still the tavern is open, and the market is busy. Orzammar has suffered worse. The ancestors will see us through. They've caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate. Yes, you should.
Not bad. We are honored to serve you, Grey Warden. Orzammar welcomes the Grey Wardens.
You are... By the ancestors! You were exiled into the deep roads. How can you be standing here? I should hope so. I'd be quite hurt if you didn't recognize me. After all, under different circumstances, we might have been married. But you were supposed to be dead. How is it you live? Then I hope your return is a good omen. Since your father died, many have begun to wonder if it was Balin's hand behind Trian's death, not yours. Even your father believed that. It's why he appointed Lord Harrowmont as his heir. But enough Deshers support Balin to keep the Assembly in a deadlock. You can see how bad things have gotten. In his sleep, though many whisper those are only sweet words to hide the smell of poison, may the ancestors accept the king among their blessed number. You wouldn't dare say so, but the common folk do. Not enough of them, I say. Exactly half the Assembly still supports Balin, and their loyalty runs deep. And I'm sure some curse their decision to exile you. but House Iduken stands behind Balin's still, and they have stricken your name. He dares not leave his estate often. You've seen what sort of thugs support your brother. Exactly half the assembly. But as you know, that means his numbers are dropping. He still lives in the king's quarters, pretending your father never repudiated him. He seems to think if he's close to the throne long enough, we'll forget he has no right to claim it. I am glad to see you're safe. If you seek Lord Harrimon's support, talk to Dulin Ferender. You'll find him in Harrimon's estate. Tell him who you are, and I'm sure he can get you an audience. I should return home until the streets become safe again.
One day the Paragon Branco will return. Oh, and on that day...
I miss old Indran. He was a good man.
The great Paragon Branco will never return. The ancestors have taken her from this...
What happens if the Assembly never picks a king?
I knew I should have stuck to common nugs. Now I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter. No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down. Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
Excuse me, do you have a moment? Oh, I actually was talking to your companions, or are you from the surface too? Oh, wonderful! I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? Oh, my lady, it's an honor. I've never met an actual mage. Is it true you can manipulate nature's forces with your mind? Like you were born with lyrium in your veins?
Don't let the glamour fool you, child. Wielding magic is a dangerous occupation, and a great responsibility.
I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study. I want to go to the Circle to study.
I assure you that desire will depart the moment you arrive.
I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing. That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcasts. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperiums for Tikum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child? Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
Greetings, and welcome to Garen Garrison's Luxury Goods Shop. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying? Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Or maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad vein. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been a little hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging, then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work I've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself. Well, it's the lyrium, you know. Raw blood of the earth. It's more alive than you and me. Most of the time, that's no problem. When it's all bundled up in a piece of steel, it'll leave you alone. But handling the ore directly, sometimes you get burned. It's not just your skin it takes off. It'll burn directly into your mind. Aye, of course we are. You should know that. Even surface dwarves lose it. Us down here, though, we should be able to handle it just fine. Only not too much, and not every day, and not breathing the dust, and not direct in the blood. Ancestors' own bad luck. Right. Best in the trade, you know. I worked the ore myself.
Orzammar welcomes you.
If only King Edrin could have lived to see you return.
Good day. That's excellent armor. Dwarven make?
Greetings.
I did not expect to see you again. I am afraid you will find Orzammar much changed.
News of the hour! 3 more clans endorse Lord Harrowmont as the true voice of the Dwarven folk. Is Paragon Hood far behind?
I shall do it.
Are your servants as lazy as mine? I swear, no one knows their place these days.
Are you the Grey Warden they're talking about?
Orzammar welcomes the Grey Wardens.
News of the hour! Does Lord Harrowmont think that Orzammar can hold off the dwarves forever? The Assembly demands an answer.
Greetings.
Is it true there's civil war on the surface, too?
I can't believe House Harrowmont would overstep itself like this.
I suppose that building the city in the midst of a pool of molten rock saves invaders the trouble of burning it.
How dare you show your face after what you've done to House Hadouken?
You have some gall to come here, exile.
Greetings.
I heard you had returned to his exile. What insult do you mean by coming here? I won't be passing that message on, exile. Your brother will be king soon. He's the one who decides who lives and who dies.
The Assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the surface trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Dashers, lords and ladies of the Assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions. Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. So it's true. The exile has returned, and we are to treat you as a respected guest. It's the one perk to this position, child. Or should I call you Warden? I'm glad to hear the surfacers are making use of your talents. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne. I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. Dulin Ferender, Harrowmont's man, can be found at the Harrowmont estate. Vartag Gavorn, Prince Balin's second, is often here in the Assembly. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Last time we met, you were hardly civil. Is there more you would say now? As you like, Warden. My prince has little time to spare on surface matters.
Lord Harrowmont sends his greetings, Exile. He was surprised to see you back here. You may have convinced his lordship of your innocence, but it is my duty to protect him, even from his own folly. We've already caught more than one of Balin's spies trying to get close to his lordship, so I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrowmont, you will need to prove he can trust you. Lord Harrowmont always had too much affection for you. But I know you Idukans and your thirst for glory. If you wish to show you have no loyalty to Balin, then work against him in Harrowmont's name. Balin is hosting a proving today, supposedly to honor his father's memory. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. It would certainly make your loyalties loud and clear. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then. Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Baisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
I shall...
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories? Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to? I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine! He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
I'm quite busy. Please do not disturb me.
Are you with that warrior girl who's always here? Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I, don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Doing very important work.
Are you looking for records of the Grey Wardens? We have many.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. Your exile is written in the memories, Warden. I am sorry, but Orzammar cannot be your home, nor I your Shaper. We must all obey the Ancestors' rules. Ask, and I shall do my best to answer. According to our legends, 7 brothers founded our empire. The youngest, Bloadlik, was the wisest and was chosen king. His children formed the noble caste. The eldest, Kiachet, trained his sons to defend their king. They became the warrior caste. Shatkyar founded the artisans. Orzatyar forged our first swords. It was Orzammar who dug the mines that became our city's foundations. The twins Koapar and Noct both founded trading houses, but Noct was wounded in battle. On his recovery, he swore to serve his brother's sons. The casteless descend from criminals and those repudiated by their own families, or who chose to go to the surface and live by human laws. They have no ancestors to guide them and no families to claim them. They should not have been born. Their parents defied their shame and brought cursed children into the world. It's better they die young. Their births are not recorded in the memories. In Orzammar, they do not exist. Is there something more pleasant you wish to discuss? Perhaps the books here can make up for the lack of attention you paid your elders. We were a great empire once, and our land stretched through the deep roads. Kal Shirak was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn. The Paragon Caridon, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle. But Caridin's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more. Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
Very well.
meetings.
Trian was a good man. What you did was unforgivable.
No one enters the prince's estate without an invitation.
What you did to Trian was unforgivable.
As you say. Very well.
Finish this. Very well.
Don't be a fool.
Now we get our hands dirty.
As you say. Get them! I shall do
It is your time to die!
How you
What's going on? By the ancestors. Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act. I guess desperate times drive people to strange things. Thanks again, Warden.
Lord Harrowmont, said to have kicked castless in the street. Does he respect none beneath his station?
I hope you'll support Lord Harrowmont.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
Raise your voice in support of Lord Harrowmont, the one true king of Orzammar and our future savior!
If you're looking for Lord Dulin Forendern, you'll find him at Tapster's, taking his evening.
These are the personal apartments of High General Lord Harrowmont. No visitors are allowed at this time.
It shall be done.
You must be under great strain with the blight upon the land. I will pray to
It
the
is
stone
sad
for
that
you.
Indrin didn't get to see you before he died.
Very well. It has begun.
You should have been the eldest.
We never lost faith in you.
It is a relief to see you alive.
These are the personal apartments of High General Lord Harrowmont. No visitors are allowed at this time.
It'll be 2 years tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Branka didn't go alone, Ogren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.
You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teat? Ha! I'll...
You lift a weapon, or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman. Can you believe it? Ogren's barely even warrior caste anymore, and he just clomps in here like he's entitled. Well, he killed Lord Mino's youngest son in a duel to first blood. It was a huge scandal. Ogren should have been executed, but he'd won honors in the deep roads. Instead, they stripped him of all weapons and forbid him from engaging in fights within city limits. If he breaks the decree, he'll be exiled. She's still his wife, isn't she? Even if she took their entire house into the deep roads and abandoned him. Well, before she was a paragon, she was just a smith, and Ogren was one of the best warriors of his generation. Chasing some old treasure, she was quite secretive, outright rude, really. She said she never asked to found a house, that she didn't care about politics, and that we were too self-absorbed to defeat the Darkspawn. She actually threatened anyone who said they'd come after her. She invented a smokeless fuel that let the Smith caste increase their output by nearly a third. Deaths from the Black Lung also dropped. The Assembly said she had the favor of the ancestors and declared her a paragon. They moved Branka, Ogren, and all their relatives to the noble caste and founded a new house in her name. If you see any guardsmen, tell them Ogren was at it again.
Very well.
So, I've been hearing rumors that a certain wine merchant is falling behind on his payments.
I can't imagine what you mean. I pay my expenses.
What about the expenses your good friend Jarvia incurs when providing your protection?
It's not easy ensuring nothing bad happens, that no one decides to just burn everything in your store.
My store! Please, I don't have much. Business isn't good. People are scared. Tell Jarvie I'll get her money.
Jarvie is not happy with your promises, old man. Now let's go inside and see what you've been holding back.
This is all I have right now. I could get more if I sell something.
Well, well, looks like we have a visitor. Friend of yours?
Get out of here. This is private business. Please, don't get involved with this. You don't know what they're like.
Then allow me to make some introductions. These are dangerous times in Orzammar, stranger. Lucky us, the merciful Jarvia is offering protection from the chaos. You're wearing some fancy stuff there. Might make you a target. So if you want the Carta's guarantee of safety, it's yours for the reasonable price of 10 gold sovereigns. Or I can't say what might happen. Whoa, whoa! All right, you win. I'm not gonna die for 10 lousy sovereigns.
Ancestors, bless you for saving my poor store. I don't know how to express my gratitude. She's a monster, plain and simple. The Carta used to prey only on their own kind, but since Jarvia stepped in, they even dare the upper city. Whoever takes the throne had better root out the whole nest of them. That Carta's worse than a pack of cave rats. A band of castless thugs. They're to blame for all the crime in Orzammar these days. They're criminals, and the children of criminals. The ancestors themselves declared them irredeemable. Their births are abominations. They were born from no Kalna, with no acknowledgement by the Shapers. They are destined to be criminals. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm grateful for your help, but I don't think we have any more to talk about. Did you have something more pleasant you wish to discuss? I'm showing you the lowest prices I can afford, I assure you.
Lord Harrowmont is such a good, caring man. He'll make
Ancestors,
a great
guard my
king.
son, for he is lost in darkness. Mothers, keep him safe, for you know what it is to know. I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? I can move aside. I don't have much to bring them. My name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Rock. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster, He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. Perhaps his body could be recovered. His bones. Something to ensure his spirit is not trapped forever. That would be some comfort. How? There is no way except to brave the deep roads yourself. A warden. So you could do it. Only wardens face the deep roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Take heart, good widow Filda. We'll do our best.
Please, find me as soon as you return.
It's about time the Darkspawn started attacking the surface. They bothered us for far too long.
Did you see that fight? In the old days, those men would have been told to join the Legion of the Dead. At least then they'd put that anger to good use.
Ancestors smile on you.
Not these days.
Maker's blessing on you, brother. The Maker brought forth this world and every creature in it. He chose a human woman as his prophet and bride, but he loves all races. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light.
Even in the very bowels of the earth, we hear no end of this chant.
And that is something to rejoice in, good sister. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar. Never mind. The Shaper of Memories has refused me so far. I thought perhaps with another advocate... Well, if you have a change of heart, let me know.
Sod it all, the exile. Never thought I'd see your face in the Commons. Never thought I'd be glad to either. But this could only help Balin. Whether he forgives you or you scare people, it's another crack in the old way. He has the legitimate claim, thanks to your failed grab. You abused the old ways, and now he has a chance to change them. I see where the gold is. It flows topside. Balin will guide us to adopt a new way. Of course, he can't come out and say that. You among them, I suppose, as though you or Harrowmont would have nothing to gain. How would I know? Nobody here is a paragon. The scales being equal, I go with the promise of more trade. I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Ugh, just do not buy anything, or touch anything, or sit anywhere.
A lot of deep roads excursions these days. I wonder
You're not welcome here, exile. I don't care if you're a Grey Warden. I liked your brother. If you need to speak to one of my patrons, do it quickly. But don't expect me to serve you. You have some nerve.
I'm afraid to walk the commons alone at night. Those Carter thugs.
We have a bit of stew on the fire.
There's an ale out there with my name on it.
Unahara
dwarvaga skedvisar sin attack. In dwarven vavaraga svinavaga pelnathak. And in the Rusha Saradorva den Wimedwa.
Afternoon, stranger. You looking for a stool to share a brew? Name's Naveen. I fight with Prince Balin's Expeditionary Field Unit. Yourself? You don't say. Good folks, Wardens. I was in the deep roads when that one came by. What was his name? Dukan, Dunka... something like that. I met him, sure. Good man. Solid. He knows what we go through in the deep roads. Not many do. Not even the ones who live this close. You have to be on the front lines. I go where I'm sent, fight when I'm there, and leave politics where it belongs. Darkspawn. Not much use in turning our weapons elsewhere while those vermin still live. Watch yourself. Orzammar politics are getting near as dangerous as battle.
Told him I don't understand why the provings aren't open to everyone. I mean, it's how the ancestors show their favor. Do they really need our help to decide who's worthy? And then he practically slapped me. Lord Dennick Helmi, honored Desher of the Orzammar Assembly, and terrible disappointment to my esteemed mother, who doesn't like me spending time in taverns. So I'm curious. You've been living on the surface, right? Does it function any worse than Orzammar for having abolished caste? Very good. I guess someone already told you I was good for nothing, drinking my life away at tapsters. Or did they leave off at greatest shame to ever fall upon the Assembly? I've always liked that one. You know, most smiths and tavern keeps would make decent deshers if we gave them a chance and a seat in the Assembly. Orzammar are so mired in tradition, no one bothers asking if the castes are even necessary. Me and 79 other fine, upstanding examples of how someone who's born into every privilege inevitably wants more. They're not fond of my views on equality. I doubt either candidate has been outside the Diamond Quarter in his life. But Lord Harrowmont seems a bit more forgiving. Prince Balin's brilliant, I'll give him that, and subtle as sin. But I don't think anything in Orzammar matters more to him than winning. As you wish.
Good day to you.
A plate of your best soup, and bring it when it's hot.
They're everywhere! I can't take it! What? Get away! You'll change like the rest. Monsters hidden in all my friends. They follow you. Once you are in the story, they possess your friends and follow. See? I found copies. All from the same pen, and older than the ones in song. Dormant my arse. Take them. I want out. I won't disappear chasing a lie. I won't.
Back so soon? The proving is not finished. What happened? May the ancestors guide your arm.
What do you want? Oh, I heard about you. The exiled prince, coming back as a Grey Warden. Put his past behind him. People are saying how you've thrown yourself on Harrowmont's wagon train. I figured you'd be the one, you know, who could help me find Branka. But I guess you're just like all the rest. You don't need a king to face a blight. You need a paragon. The Assembly elects them.
But they're higher than the Assembly. They become nobles, but they're more than anyone born to a house. They're what every dwarf with a spine not made of soap dreams of being. Aye, of course. Being a paragon would be a dusted sight better than this. Why do you care what I want? Nobody cares about what I want. Your boss trying to butter me up or what? If you want the secrets of a paragon, do the work and find her. City's only living paragon, and she's been lost in the deep roads for 2 years. 2 years, and no one's raised a bleeding army to go look for her. What's it matter to you, huh? You trying to find out her secrets? That what Harrowmont sent you here for? I know he's been poking around, trying to find things out about her, what she was looking for. Won't tell me spit, though. He looking to take it for himself? A little lost technology of the ancients to throw Balin right out of the picture? Aye, of course. I'm her bleeding husband, aren't I? She left me here and took our entire house when she left. Is that what you're looking for? Well, there it is. Fine. You keep on your errands. Until your boss really commits to looking, you're getting nothing but smoke out of old Ogren.
I never thought I'd see you again, exile.
I trust Valor.
You must be vastly relieved, Wynne.
Relieved? I do not understand what you mean.
Most your age would spend much of their time preoccupied wondering when they might perish. Yet you already know.
Eavesdropping is not considered very polite, dear.
A fortunate thing, then, that I do not consider myself bound by such rules.
In response to your question, I know only that I died once. I do not know how much time I have left, only that it is very little.
That is not so very different than before, surely. You are an old woman.
One who keenly appreciates that our time in this world should be spent doing what is important.
I have always lived by such a philosophy.
How reassuring. They don't kill each other in the arena, do they? I mean, why would anyone find that entertaining?
Must the provings be so violent?
Harrowmont's men are gonna get their beards handed to them.
Look, I already told the Proving Master I withdrew. Do you have to keep harassing me? Nor I you, but it's pretty obvious who you're working for. I am, so if you're not here to... How do you know who I am? Look, it's just, when I was younger, I had a thing with this Idukan girl, Revelka. Lesser cousin, nowhere near the throne. Her family wanted her marrying up, so they matched her with a BMO. But we didn't exactly stop seeing each other. I thought we were discreet, but she's married to a Desher's heir. He'd kill me if he knew. So I have to slink out of here like some worthless brand for fear Balin will tell the whole city. There's no way to guarantee that. I appreciate the thought, but they really have me over a shaft here. No. One of his fighters, a woman named Miyaja, she's the one who threatened to expose me. They have letters. Love letters Revelka wrote me. If they were made public, she'd be disgraced. Her husband would cast her aside, and I would be lucky to be allowed to die in a duel. You'd do that? I don't know how to thank you. I know it's my own fault, but I'd have married her if I could. If you can make sure that evidence doesn't get out, I'd be happy to fight in the proving. But you need to find them quickly. Registrations close once the first bout starts.
Watch for Piotr Naidukin. He's won the squad combat 4 years running. He has 11 decapitations so far. He needs just 3 more for the one-season record. Usading Bet, first cousin, son of Endrin's own sister, and a second cousin from the Knolden Idukin line. When he was alive, Prince Trion called Piotr the horns of the Idukin army. Better believe I saw your victory last year. Nice one. Name's Varric. I got a controlling interest in a mine off the old Roostin Tig. But my backers know not to hand me a pick any day there's blood on the stone, if you know what I mean. Me? Are you out of your mind? I'm a miner, not a warrior. They change from round to round. Sometimes it's bare hands, sometimes weapons, sometimes pairs or squads. It's announced when the fight begins. That's about all the warning anyone gets. I'm telling you, Piotr will take the prize. You can put gold on it.
Piotr Naidukin fights like he's in the Legion of the Dead. You should see his eyes.
Did you see that last fight? It was really something.
As you say.
Do not disturb me. I must meditate before my fight. You new in the fights? I don't remember seeing you before. Which is why I was on my way out. Name's Guidon, and I just tendered my resignation. Somehow I don't think the ancestors will favor me today. I fought for House Harrimont in the Deep Roads for 20 years, and will again. I don't regret a minute of that service. But it's my family's job to protect this city, not get caught up in political games better left to the noble caste. It's not so much what happened, as what's going to. I heard from a reliable source Lord Harrimont's already given up the throne. Balin called this whole proving to let his lordship save face when he concedes. Oh? And where did you hear this that's more reliable than a member of the Assembly? Well, that's not what I expected. I know Lord Harrimont. He's an upstanding man. He'd never lie to someone's face. Maybe you're right. I'm just a warrior. I've always tried to stay out of these noble politics. If I find out this whole thing was some flunky of Balin's lying to me for his own gain, I'll... Maybe I will at that.
Fine to see you here, Warden. A number of people have told me they hope to see you in the provings. It's a rare opportunity to fight against someone so exotically trained. In fact, a few were hoping you'd take part in some informal action. Say the word and I'll line up a team from one of the younger houses. They don't often get a chance to test themselves in the provings. They're a hungry bunch who employ unusual tactics. Understand that there's no concern for fairness here. your battles will be hard won. We've got some young fighters ready to go. This will be difficult, I assure you.
Enemies approaching! These fights are on us!
This is annoying!
Good job, Warden. You've earned a portion of the receipts. Let me know if you want to go again. The younger houses are interested in unorthodox tactics. Many hire mercenaries to augment traditional strengths. Anything goes is a fair description. We give small payouts, maybe a bonus from time to time, but this isn't about money. It's about skill and the chance to show it. I'll be here.
Get out of here!
You looking at something?
Don't take it personally. Hana-shan's a member of the Silent Sisters. She doesn't talk to anyone. They're an order of female warriors, founded by Astith the Grey, a woman of the warrior caste who first fought for women's right to be soldiers. When no one listened to her words, Astith cut out her tongue and dedicated herself to training until she won a grand proving bare-handed. The women who joined her order cut out their tongues in her honor. The Silent Sisters support the sitting king. They are loyal servants to the Idukans. Your bravado is meaningless. When a Silent Sister fights, she doesn't do it with words. If you would back up your claims, enter the proving. The ancestors will show who they think is worthy. This area is off limits. Combatants only. Is that an accusation? It's illegal to threaten proving fighters outside the ring.
Not helping them keep their dirty secrets, though. That's another story.
You've obviously been away too long. You forget. Nothing in Orzammar is private.
As long as someone can find out.
Come on, Luke John. We have a fight to prepare for.
Guards, remove this intruder.
As you say. It has begun. Go away. I don't talk to admirers until after the fight. I shall do it.
The proving's almost starting. I should leave if you haven't found anything. Where did you get those? No, I don't want to know. Just thank you. I can't say what it means to know my Revelka is safe. I will be glad to fight for Haremont in the provings. Thank you again, friend.
My lord Iduken, we heard you were dead. What are you doing here? I guess I should have seen that coming. Bad blood with your brother and all. Let me just put you into the schedule here. Now, is there a particular name you wish listed? I'll just call you Grey Warden, since you're no longer of House Iduken. We actually have an opening in the first round. Are you ready to start? Looks like Suwern's drawn first bout. He was one of the youngest champions ever. Beat his own father at 12 years old. All for the right to earn his battle status 2 years early. Are you ready to start? That's what I like to hear. I will warn you though. This is your last chance to make preparations or meet the competition. Once the fights begin, there are no new additions to the roster. All withdrawals are treated as losses and a sign of the ancestors' disfavor. Do you want to start or would you like some time? The fighters' quarters are behind the ring. Go down to the ring then. I'll be right there. This is a glory proving. Fought under the eyes of the paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. First up is Suwern of the warrior caste. Many of you remember when Suwern made history as a lad of 12 by defeating his own father in this very ring. Today, he fights as a champion for Prince Balin. Opposing him, in Lord Haramont's name, is a member of the famed Grey Wardens. In the name of House Iduken and our future King Balin. First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! We must fight. Let us do it. The winner is the Grey Warden! That was an exciting start, Warden. Suwern is rarely trounced, and so thoroughly. Are you ready for your next opponent? Next, you're up against Miaja and Lukjan. As twins, they've always been allowed to fight as a single person. They're warrior caste, but their mother was a smith, so watch out for Miaja's hammer. And don't forget Lukjan. Most fighters do, and end up with a knife in their spine. Are you ready to begin? Watch yourself. This crowd will only wait so long. I've been sick for days. You should have seen me last week.
You are quickly overstepping your welcome.
Good, you're back. I was about to start looking for you. Are you ready to fight? The crowd is eager to see another victory. Go down to the ring then. I'll be right there. This is a glory proving. Fought under the eyes of the paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. This round, Haramont's champion takes on the notorious duo. The warrior caste twin terrors now fighting for Prince Balin, Miaja and Lukjan.
May the stone honor you.
When you fall.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
I shall do it. Shall be done. Damn you!
The winner is the Grey Warden! Well, that was an exciting bout. 2-on-1, and you took them both easily. Are you ready for your next opponent? Well, this bout should be quick and dirty. You'll be fighting Hanashan, one of the legendary Silent Sisters. She's a ferocious fighter, and dedicated enough to cut out her own tongue. Are you ready to begin? All right then, I'll see you out there. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. Paramount's champion has held the field so far, but how will he do against one of the legendary Silent Sisters? We'll find out as the Warden faces Lady Hanashan, who proved her worth to Paragon Ashtith the Grey by cutting out her own tongue. And to our Prince Balin by fighting in his name. First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Come, let us end this. Ah! It is begun. Ah! Now you fall!
The winner is the Grey Warden! Paramount will be pleased, Warden. The Silent Sister support was a great boost for Balin. Are you ready for your next opponent? This should be a good match. You'll battle Wojek Ivo, master of all weapons, prisoner of none. He makes it a point never to use the same technique twice. Are you ready to begin? All right then, I'll see you out there. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. This round is paired combat. Just as Kiatchet fought as King Bloodlik II defending our empire, so have dwarves always fought alongside a second. Master of all weapons, prisoner of none, Wojek Ivo has never won the same way twice. What will he do today, lords and ladies? And will it win the day for Prince Balin? Grey Warden, choose your second, for you face Wojek Ivo and Valans.
You honor me.
Last one standing will be declared victor.
That was a good fight. Miaja learned a lot from you.
So did Luke John.
Well, I guess I can't call you cousin, since the family renounced you and you're supporting the usurper. The Idukans have held the throne for 9 generations. The Assembly should have turned to every last member of our line before handing Orzammar over to some lesser family. Just watch. The ancestors will prove me right in the ring.
I've been sick for days. You should have seen me last week.
Congratulations and well fought. My cousin was wise to choose you.
When my arm heals, you watch out, Duster.
Not bad for a surfacer.
Ancestors, watch over your path. Ancestors, watch over your path.
You showed them. The ancestors are smiling on Lord Harriman.
Ready for some unofficial training opportunities? We've got some young fighters ready to go. This will be difficult, I assure you.
Let's not exhaust our supply.
Now we're going to bed. That does not look good. This is annoying. Nothing but excitement. Begin the onslaught. Let us end this. I am your death! Wipe them out!
Won the day. Good job, Warden. You've earned a portion of the receipts. Let me know if you want to go again. I'll be here.
Do not disturb me. I must meditate before my fight.
Good, you're back. I was about to start looking for you. Are you ready to fight? The crowd is eager to see another victory. Go down to the ring then. I'll be right there. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. Only 2 warriors remain. Fighting for his royal cousin Balin, Piotin Idukan has led his team to triumph over every unit so far. Challenging him on behalf of Lord Harriman, the Grey Warden has risen from nothing to stand at the competition summit. Each will lead a full unit of 4 soldiers to see once and for all whom the ancestors favor.
You should not have returned, exile. You are a disgrace to House Idukan.
Last one standing will be declared victor. Fight! Enemy...
Too easy. Another better light.
Very well.
Enough. Let us end this!
The winner is the Grey Warden! Congratulations! You defeated the man Prince Trian himself once called the Horns of my army. Do you deny this Grey Warden has earned the championship? Then it is my honor to declare this Grey Warden champion of the Proving, who has shown that the ancestors favor Lord Heremont. The ancestors speak through you. Congratulations, Warden.
You showed them. The ancestors are smiling on Lord Heremont today.
That was an excellent showing. Exactly what I expect from an Aitu.
Your victory means nothing. The Assembly knows better than to base its vote on one proving.
I can't believe it! The ancestors came out of the sodding ground to kiss your feet, Duster.
Why are you here?
Excuse me?
Obviously you are no priestess, but shouldn't you be running a shop or a farm somewhere rather than fighting?
You think to tell me my place, Kunari? You are very brave.
It is not done.
But it is done. Do not be such a blind fool.
I speak the truth. It is not I who is blind.
Look around you then. You see women throughout this land, fighters and mages both.
That has yet to be proven.
Which, that they fight? Or that they are female?
Either.
So I am not truly a woman to you, hmm? 'Tis good to know.
I shall do it. Atrasvala, champion. I hear your performance in the Proving was nothing short of amazing. I must thank you for bringing both Baisel and Guidon back into the fight. His lordship was touched to see his old friends stand for him. There can no longer be any doubt where your sympathies lie. If you're ready, Lord Harrowmont will see you now. His lordship is eager to see you again.
Your father missed you sorely in his final days. I am glad you found a new place among the Grey Wardens. I've a broken heart, in my view. Some say Balin poisoned him, but I never left Endrin's side, and I don't see how. Balin did kill him, but only by what he did to you. He knew what a poor king Balin would make. He saw it sooner than the rest of us. One of his last requests was that I carry out his wishes as Orzammar's next king. It was the greatest honor of my life. For us, the Darkspawn are a constant menace, so a blight may not elicit the same urgency you are used to. Ultimately, the Assembly decides what troops to send. If they no longer fear civil war, they'll have no reason to hold back. If you want my support to count, I will have to be king, and right now, there is no sure way to get there. Have you heard of a woman named Jarvia and the criminal carter she runs? I'm glad you're so eager. If you help me shut her down, we can show the Assembly I am the right king to defend Orzammar. Jarvia hides her base in Dust Town, the raw edges of the city where no one lives but castless and criminals. If you would help me in this, it would show the Assembly that I, and not Balin, have the ability to defend and rule this city. Do this, and I promise if I take the throne, I will not stop until the Assembly sends your troops. Look for Jarvia in Dust Town. Do whatever it takes to see that justice is served.